What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Roelly, the man who was known as the Beast and who won the first ever People's Choice Award back in 2019 when it was first introduced. So Roelly will go down in the history as one of the biggest freaks of all time. He is certainly in the list of those guys with the best arms ever in the sport of bodybuilding. So Roelly just turned 47 years old this year and the man looks awesome for his age. Especially the fact that he just started training a few months ago. So I don't think he went into retirement on his own terms. It was his shoulder surgery that hindered him from training hard and heavy, especially in the last year of his competitive career. And that was also visible in his physique as well, especially at his last ever Miss Olympia, which was 2021, when Roelly was even unable to make top 10. And that was a big sign right there, that it is time to transition into the next chapter of his life. And that was time to hang up the posing trunks. Because that was the first time since 2014 that he was unable to place top 10. So could Roelly have won the Olympia if he peaked like 2018 in the previous years? I'm gonna say not a chance, because Phil Heath was winning back in that era, and he was just so damn dominant. Now Roelly did miss his chance at winning the Miss Olympia title in 2019, where he was unable to bring the condition, and it was really unfortunate for him that he was in prep for the Olympia 2020, all the way till a couple of weeks out, when he got COVID, and he had to sit out of that one. So the fans still love him because of his amazing personality, and because the man is so down to earth, and I am so happy to see him enjoying his retirement. The battle for the top 6 classic physique Miss Olympia this year, that is gonna be absolutely insane. One man, Vassy Wiesers, who was 7th last year, he is taking at least one spot in those top 3 spots. So what about the other guys who placed top 6 last year? So here is one at 8 weeks out. The man who placed ahead of Wesley last year, he was 6th. Michael Daboul, who is known as the most shredded guy in classic physique division, or the most shredded guy in the bodybuilding world for that matter. And he is one of those guys who is gonna be working extremely hard to repeat his placing from last year, and not just that, try to move up. But will he be able to do that? So Michael Daboul was originally supposed to compete at this year's Dubai Pro, but his body needed a break, because the man was competing non-stop for the last 2 years. We did see him at the Arnold Classic Ohio and UK, where he coached himself, and I have to say the man did a great job, but I believe the bodybuilding world witnessed his best ever when he was working with Patrick Tour. And Michael was able to make quite some jumps in his placings at the Olympia level. He went from 10th in 2022 to 6th in 2023, but now he is working with one of the members from Oxygen Gym Kuwait, and I have to say that doesn't really make any sense, because he was doing extremely well with Patrick, but Michael must have his own reasons. So he looks right on the money for 8 weeks out. His body is fresh and is once again ready to make a big statement at the big stage one more time. So what do you guys think? Can he place top 6 again? How motivating it must have been for all these guys to see Vassy Wiesers change the entire landscape of classic physique in just 1 year. I mean, the guy was able to beat all the top 6 guys except for Chris Bumstead in a matter of just a few months. So that must be so motivating for all these other guys who are trying to climb up those ranks. And just as I mentioned Wesley, he has posted new progress updates. And every time Wesley posts a picture, it seems like he has the God mode engaged. That is such a clean look at 8 weeks out, with incredible amount of definition and detail, and that too everywhere. So I really like the way he is hitting that front large spread shot, creating that amazing illusion of having a very small waist, although he doesn't have a very small waist, especially in comparison to all these other top guys like Chris Bumstead, Ramondino, Brion, Ors, but still he is creating that insane V-taper. So the added density in his back, especially in that back relaxed pose, that is looking awesome as well. So speaking about front large spread, don't you guys think it's time for the IFB Pro to change the rules for classic physique division? After all, these guys in classic physique, they are all bodybuilders, just in bigger trunks. So why not make that front large spread a mandatory shot? And maybe the side tricep as well. And I have to say an argument can be made for the most muscular as well. So currently there are only 5 mandatory shots for classic physique division. So do let me know what you guys think about this proposal. Next up we have the physique update of Vlad. So he isn't done with his competition season just yet. And there is a great opportunity for him to earn his Olympia qualification this year by competing at this upcoming UK Pro, which is happening in about 3.5 weeks time from now, especially if he gets a visa. So that guy absolutely loves to compete And up until a few days ago, when Vlad appeared on the Menace podcast, he revealed that he's willing to compete in Italy as well, which is happening in 2.5 weeks' time. But he is waiting for his visa at the moment.
Do you feel confident that you're going to win in England? Because when we look at the people
I have everything for this. So I know myself what I can make and what I can bring there.
Vlad, you are definitely the highest ranked guy going into this show. So you're going to be the favorite, I'm sure, because I'm sure Hunter is, if after he wins Italy, he's going to go right back home. He's not going to England.
So tons of respect for some of these guys, like Bahar Sabani and Vlad. One cannot even imagine how strong of a mindset is required to go through that grueling prep without even having that surety that you are going to be able to compete, that you are going to be able to showcase what you have built. And that too because of such a minute inconvenience, like having a visa problem. So the way Vlad showed up at this year's Chicago Pro, and he placed second behind Muhammad Fadha, nobody is ever going to underestimate him anymore. And no one is going to call him an Instagram bodybuilder, because that was a great package from Vlad and his coach Francisco as well. So he has amazing stage presence, great size, he takes up a lot of space on the stage. Not to mention that amazing conditioning that he brings. Plus, he was looking a lot more streamlined this time. So if I'm not mistaken, he is in his 20s at the moment. So that kind of mass at such a young age, that is really unbelievable. So hopefully he gets the visa for UK Pro, which is gonna be the last Olympia qualifier for this year's big show. So I have no idea why some pages are posting these pictures of Quinton Beastwood with the caption stating that these are recent ones, when in fact these are from the Neo Pro prep, when he was roughly around 8 weeks out. And by the way, this was Quinton's best look during that prep, because after this point, he started to do more and more cardio, while cutting down on the calories and the food, resulting in him losing tons of muscle, leading up to that show. So Quinton had a tons of hype behind him this year. I mean, he was being compared to the guys like Samson Dauda on the basis of his height and similarity in the structure. But that was a big disappointment by Quinton at this year's Neo Pro, and even he himself admitted that. So he was following his coach's plan, who was Matt Jensen, up until this year's Neo Pro, and that clearly did not go in his favor. Now his look at this year's Toronto Pro, that was much more impressive, that was very promising, and that is why some people in the audience, they had him winning instead of Akeem Williams. So fast forward to today. So these are his most recent updates, and after 8 to 10 weeks of cleaning out his system, going through a detox phase, Quinton is back on the business of bodybuilding. So let me tell you guys what's going to be a great show for Quinton to come back and qualify for the Olympia 2025, the big man weekend, which is scheduled on 1st December, 15 weeks from this point. And considering how lean Quinton stayed, especially in that post-show phase, that is plenty of time to get ready and get that qualification as early as he possibly can, and then dive right back into another off-season. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.